Hello, fellow Inquisitors, Split Persona here, and welcome back to another Inquisitor Martyr tutorial video. I apologize for the length in time between this video and the last. Between the holidays and work schedules and different things that have come up, I wasn't able to get a video out as soon as I was hoping to, but I am back at it again. This time we are going over some heavy weapons. Yes, it is time. Let me get these out of the way real quick so we don't have to deal with them up close to ours. We are dealing with heavy weapons. These guns right here are exclusive to Crusader class only. So all you Crusader fanatics out there, congrats to you. You are the only ones that can use these weapons. The weapons that they are is Heavy Flamer, Plasma Cannon, Multi-Melta, Heavy Bolter, and Grenade Launcher. So yeah, you have quite a few heavy weapons, and they do come in all the flavors, you know, Mastercraft, Artificer, you know, Archaeotech, you know, Archaeotech Relics, you know, Relic versions. So you do have quite a few different different options when it comes to picking one. So there is quite a few differences between them, though. For instance, the Multi-Melta, the Heavy Bolta, the Plasma Cannon, they all have a regular rifle counterpart. There is a Bolter rifle, there is a Melta rifle, and there is just a regular plasma gun. Basically a smaller version. The Assassin class can wield those, and I believe the brand new Sisters of Battle class can as well, which I will be doing a tutorial on once I get some more info on that, and I go and, you know, play around with that and get some more details on that. So keep an eye out for that. Which I did notice that they actually come with a low-level flamer rifle. It's not the heavy version, it's just a standard version flamer, which I'm interested to see how that works. So, but today we are going to be covering, you know, we're going to be going over the heavy guns. So we're going to go and take a look at that. So I'm going to start up a mission like we always do, and I will see you in a bit. Okay, so the first weapon we are going to cover is the Grenade Launcher. Single shot, long range, breacher, area effect. Delivers a single shot at the target. Short burst, long range, rapid fire, knockdown, knockback, high suppression, breacher, area effect, AoE. A short burst that fires multiple shots. Proximity mines, long range, rapid fire, stun, slow, high suppression, area effect, AoE. Launches proximity mines to the designated location. The mines detonate and deals damage after a short arming time when the proximity fuse is activated. And airburst grenade. Fleshbane, high suppression, area effect. Fragmentation grenade, explodes midair, mangles soft targets. Basically, you are armed with a giant grenade launcher, pretty much what it says on the tin, This is an ammo weapon, so you will have to go and reload it every so often. So basically, single shot and short burst are very similar to each other. Short burst or single shot is just you launch one at a time. You know, it does damage, you know, extra damage to cover. Short burst does a lot more because you're dealing more grenades into a single area, so it has a lot more effects. I can actually show off single shot. As you can see, we're launching one at a time, and then if I launch multi-shot, you can see we launched multiple ones. Now right here, same as always, here's your ammo. And it does have a very long cooldown on short bursts. Single shot, very quick, very responsive. So I would say, if anything, you're going to want single shot just to clear up your regular enemies. If you do run across something, you know, short burst takes care of large groups very quickly. Now, proximity mines is a very interesting one. You fire it in an area, and then they arm themselves. Now, do you hear the ticking? That ticking means that they're armed. They arm after about, I believe it's 1 second. Now, what we're going to do is, because I don't want them to expire, I'm going to go find an enemy or two, and I'm going to lure them back here. Come on. No, don't do that. Come on. Come on, follow me. Come on. And there they go. As you can see, they'll stay there until an enemy comes along, and then once it senses something coming nearby, it will trigger. So, very handy if you have, you know, and there they go. They just timed out. They do have a lifespan, as you just seen. So, you know, keep that in mind. But if you have a little choke point like this, and you know there's a large group of enemies ahead, just set down a cluster of them and just lure your enemies down into it, and it will make short work of them. Airburst grenade is basically going to be against your more fleshy targets. Let's see if I can't find some. It basically just rains down a bunch of shrapnel over top of a group of enemies, just like that did there. So I launch it, and it just explodes in midair and just rains it down. If you have enemies in cover, it works extremely well if you can't get a clear shot, because you can just, you know, launch it up over the top and it'll pellet anything down below or behind. So airburst grenade, very handy for cover. Proximity mines, very good for setting up ambushes. Short burst, you know, you're dealing with enemies, boom, takes out the group. Single shot is if you're dealing with, you know, one single enemy at a time. If you look at your damage, like I said, single shot is a lot... Oop, forget the reload. Single shot goes a lot faster. Multi-shot, you fire off 3, but then you have a very long cooldown. So keep that in mind with the grenade launcher.
Reloading.
You are better off using it for... this is more of like anti-cover, you know, heavy armored units, you know, stuff like that. So if you're wanting to destroy a lot of cover, you know, they're behind cover or something like that, boom, cover's gone. So that is the grenade launcher. Next, we are going to move on to probably something that everyone loves in Warhammer, the Heavy Flamer. Okay, now for everybody's favorite heretic cleansing weapon, the Heavy Flamer. Flame Cone, medium range. Channeled Assault, Shred, Flee, Burning, DOT, Cone Effect, AoE. Belches a continuous fire plume of burning Promethean while advancing relentlessly, fearing enemies. Disengaging Stream, medium range. Channeled, high suppression, burning, DOT, cone effect, AoE. Continuous fire stream while moving away from the target until you release the button. Scorched Earth, long range, knockdown, knockback, high suppression, burning DOT, area effect, AoE. Area denial attack ignites the ground upon impact. Phosphorus Splash, long range. Persistent, burning, DOT, area effect, AoE. Liquid Prometheum Stream ignites the targets upon impact. This one here is a very interesting weapon. Your first two skills are going to be medium range. That is, your orange cone. So if you look here, it's only going to go so far. That is as far as you are able to move. So the flame on this is not going to go very, very long. However, these two here, Scorched Earth and Phosphorus Splash, and we'll cover them in a bit, are going to be your long-ranged attacks with this weapon. Flame Cone has a very interesting effect. It has Flee. And if you look over there on the right on the cards, it says the target flees for 3 seconds. Only affects targets with overwhelmed suppression. Now, since this is a fire-based weapon, you will severely be taking down their suppression. So, 9 times out of 10, within a half a second, if your enemy is still alive, they will be under that flee effect, and they will run in terror. So this is actually if you're in a bind and you start getting, large groups of enemies on you, this flee effect comes in very handy if you've got the correct build. Disengaging Stream, on the other hand, is once you do have them running away, you will continuously back up while covering fire. Very easy to do. And as you can see, this is like one-shotting a lot of cover. So it is an extremely powerful weapon. It does have an overheat bar. No ammo, but an overheat bar. Scorched Earth. This is the first of your long-ranged abilities for this. So if I fire here, you launch a fireball, and it lights the area on fire. Any enemy that passes through there will take damage. A lot of damage. Phosphorus Splash. You are going to be using this quite often. Similar to Scorched Earth, but kind of a lot larger of an area, and it is designed to light everything in the area on fire 100 times more. A lot longer of a cooldown, but a lot bigger of an explosion. It does launch out 4 random fireballs. 2 of them landed here, 1 here, and 1 here. So, whoop, wrong button. This just lights the ground on fire. This one lights the ground on fire and everything else as well. So, let's go find a group of enemies and show it off. So, we're first going to burn the enemies, and as you can see, the ones that I did... See, he ran away. I came back and he started running away. And as you can see, they did not last long. It did not take even a really long time for them to start. Like, I'm having a rough time simply because they're dying faster than... Yeah, they're dying faster than I can actually have the fear effect kick in. So I'm going to disengage stream. There's really not, much to just show off there. However, if I want to light the ground under him, you can see, he's going to keep taking damage. He's going to keep taking damage. But if I want to do this, he'll take damage, and so will everyone else around him. It is very, very potent. As you can see, he's dead, and so is everyone else around him. Like I said, the heavy flamer, let's get rid of these, because I don't want them. Come on, get out of here. Stupid loot. The heavy flamer is very, very powerful. It is limited, though, to its primary range. Your range on your flame cone is going to be very close. So enemies that were within a certain distance are going to be able to get within normally melee range when you use this. However, if you're more relying on phosphorus blast or splash and, scorched earth, and you take care of, cooldowns and stuff like that, this weapon becomes extremely, extremely good. I would highly recommend this for anyone running a heat build. And it does benefit from heat attacks, which, again, that's one of the reasons they were dying so fast, is I have my heat path all the way up. And yeah, it melted. It melted right through them. They did not stand a chance. So that is the heavy flamer. Next, the Multi-Melta. Okay. The next one is the Multi-Melta. Single shot, long range, armor breaking, vulnerability heat, breacher, single target. Delivers a single shot at the enemy, or at the target. Melta blast, long range, charged shot, persistent, slow, burning, DOD, area effect AoE, violent heat pulse, discharge with area effect. Hold the button to charge up to 375% damage over 1.5 seconds. Overcharged shot, long range, piercing AoE, charged shot, armor piercing, demolisher, armor penetrating heat pulse. Hold the button to charge up to 375% damage over 1.5 seconds. Rad charge, long range, fleshbane, persistent, flee, breacher, single target, burning, DOT, area effect, AoE. A heat pulse that can degrade targets to radioactive slag. Killed enemies leave behind a 3-meter large AoE damage zone for 5 seconds. Now, every last one of these, if you notice, except for single shot, has one thing in common. Most of these can be either charged or have an AoE effect. However, Rad Charge is a little different. Rad Charge you are going to be using for bossing. Okay? There's a difference, or there's a reason for that. Plain and simple, your damage on single shot is 1,443. Now, granted, the values are going to change because of my level versus your level and skills and all that stuff. I'm just using mine as an example. The damage on Rad Charge is 6,286. This Rad Charged shot is designed to completely obliterate large targets and then leave a pool of radioactive goop behind. So if you're going against a large target, you are going to want to use this ability on it. I would not waste it on anything small, because most of the time the other two abilities, Melta-Blast and Overcharged Shot, are going to take care of them. You can take out plenty with these two. So this here, regular single shot, very good, quick responsive, does very good damage to cover, stuff like that. Melta-Blast, hold the button down, and it creates a large damaging area of fire. It does have a very long cooldown, though. You can change how much damage that does and make it a little bit quicker by only tapping it and holding it down for a split second instead of charging it the whole time. So you don't need to go and, hold it down for the whole 1.5 seconds. You can just basically tap release and it will fire. Overcharge shot is you basically fire off a beam and it just shoots off a beam and it'll basically hit anything in its way. If you look on the tag there, it will penetrate multiple targets. So if you have a long corridor and they're all coming down, charge this up, fire it off, and you will pierce every last one of those targets and just fire straight through all of them. So that is a very good one. And then, of course, that is just Rad Shot. Rad Shot is just, no muss, no fuss, just an instant, just fire and forget. A lot of damage, instant kill on just about everything. But like I said, it does have a very decent cooldown, so let's soften these guys up with a charged shot. Like you've seen, Melta-Blast just took them out. I didn't even have to do anything. One single Melta-Blast. That is how you are going to be running this gun. You're going to be hitting them first with Melta-Blast. Any of the stragglers, you're going to hit with single shot. If you have a long hallway and you have to retreat, or they're all charging at you, you use Overcharged Shot to fire through them. And if you're going up against a boss, you used Rad Charge. But, like I said, I'm going to find one more group, and I'm going to just try to show it off a little bit better. Like I said, simply because I have... Oh, I don't want to gas attack. There. There we go. And then, boom. As you've seen there, I just targeted them, and You know, I hit him with Melta Blast, hit the straggler with single shot. Hey, get out of here. There we go. That was perfect. That was overcharged shot. So I just shot right through them, and then that's that radioactive slag left by rad discharge. So that is how this gun works. Very, very effective. Almost as effective as, you know, the heavy flamer. Think of it like the heavy flamer, but in a long-ranged version. So, again, I love this weapon. If you do it right and you build correctly, this weapon can do a ton of damage. It does, because of how these are, they are heat. So it does, again, fall under your heat attack skill tree. So, again, I have it maxed out, so I'm doing crazy amounts of damage. So, that is the Multi-Melta. On to the Plasma Cannon. Okay. The next one we're going to talk, Plasma Cannon. Very good all-around weapon. Single shot, long range, armor breaking, vulnerability, heat, breacher, single target. Delivers a single shot at the target. Pretty simple. Overdrive discharge, long range, slow projectile, salvo, spread moderate, demolisher, single target. Continuous discharge as long as you are holding the button. Compressed plasma, long range, slow projectile, charged shot, area effect, AoE. Overpressurized plasma discharge with an area effect. And plasma barrage, long range. Knockdown, knockback, high suppression, breacher, area effect, AoE. Ballistic volley of explosive plasma discharges. The plasma cannon is a very, very fun gun to use. Not only is it heat-based, which, again, if you have your skill tree maxed out and you are running, you know, heavy weapons, most of these weapons, you know, the heavy flamer, the Multi-Melta, the plasma cannon, all three of them are heat-based weapons. You know, I believe actually even... Oh, nope. Grenade launcher and the heavy bolter are physical-based weapons. So a majority of your heavy weapons are heat-based weapons. So if you're going to be trying to get the most out of your heavies, go with a heat build. It will change how your weapons play. But single shot has armor breaking on it, which is extremely good. And it's got breacher, which does extra damage to cover. But the crowning jewel of this weapon is plasma barrage. You basically get to fire plasma grenades in an area. I will use the plasma cannon over the grenade launcher due to this ability. And let me just show off plasma barrage. This is plasma barrage. Now, plasma barrage will fire off a small cluster of grenades. Now, you couldn't see the explosion because there wasn't anything there, but let me... Yeah, it's hard to see the explosions for some reason. But that is plasma barrage. It actually does do quite well. It does take the place of a grenade launcher. So you have single shot here. It's relatively slow firing, but you're going to be using this against a heavily armored target to break their armor, because it is an armor breaking skill. This, however, Overdrive, is going to be your primary attack. You're going to be using this 90% of the time. That is how you are going to be going and killing enemies, is just with this. Very fast firing, you know, no cooldown whatsoever, and everything else. Compressed plasma, you basically fire it off. It does have a very long cooldown time, but it does do an area of effect, which I don't use it often simply because Overdrive is just so much faster. So let us go and see. Yeah, we should have plenty of enemies left. So as you can see, it does rip through enemies. Now, I'm going to, let's see if I can't fire off these grenades. There we go. As you can see, they took a ton of damage just from those grenades. So that is the damage single shot does. Single shot does do quite a bit of damage. So if you do need to take out an enemy, don't be afraid to hit them with single shot. Oh, here we go. Perfect. There we go. Single shot does do wonders. And we have enemies coming in, and boom. His shields are completely gone. You can go and super compressed or compressed plasma does work. But like I said, I don't use it often simply because there's no reason to use that when you have a grenade launcher ability. So that is the plasma cannon. You're going to be using this mostly Overdrive for taking out groups of enemies, single shot for taking out your armored enemies, plasma barrage for if you start to get overwhelmed and you have large clusters of them. Compressed plasma, I don't really use that skill often, but you can use it. It does work very well as an AoE effect. So, you know, it is a good skill to have on that, but I would much rather have something a little bit different. Because, like I said, there's no reason to have this when you have Plasma Barrage. So, that is the Plasma Cannon. Next, we are on to the last heavy weapon, the Heavy Bolter. Okay. We are on to probably what I would consider one of my favorite weapons. Especially considering they redid it, and it's just plain good. I love my Heavy Bolter. I don't want Thunderbolt of Authority always applying, so we're going to throw this one on. It's simply because this 3.8 chance to release a Thunderbolt of Authority on hit is just way too powerful on this weapon, and I will explain why. So, the Heavy Bolter, you have full auto, long range, channeled, assault, fleshbane, spread, moderate, high suppression, traumatized, single target, continuous fire as long as you are holding the button. Concentrated salvo, long range, channeled, armor breaking, assault, spread, moderate, high suppression, demolisher, single target. Automatic fire with machine spirit assisted aim. Disengage, salvo, assault, fleshbane, slow, spread, wide, single target, automatic fire while disengaging from the target. Hellstorm, long range. Channeled, assault, fleshbane, knockdown, knockback, weak versus armor, area effect AoE. Area denial, automatic fire with explosive munitions. The heavy bolter, in my opinion, when done correctly, is probably going to be one of the best heavy weapons, unless you go for a straight up heat based build. Now, this character that I have is a heat based character. That's why all these other weapons were going and doing so much damage. However, my other character that I have is a physical based one, which is what this one does. And this weapon will shred everything. Traumatized is a very interesting ability that this has. Basically what it does is, if you look over on the right there on the cards, Traumatized roots the target until the channeled attack is finished. As long as you're targeting your enemy, they will not move until they either die or you stop firing. If you are firing against a boss, they have a tendency to slow down. I have yet to see one be traumatized. However, elite enemies, I have seen traumatized. So if you're fighting a heavy enemy and you pull out this bolter and you use full auto on them, you can keep them from moving around and getting close to you. It does very, very good damage against Fleshbane. However, its second ability is also armor breaking. So not only are you able to do armor breaking with one weapon, you can also do straight up damage with Fleshbane on one weapon. So this weapon will do both suppression, and both skills, concentrated salvo and full auto, have the high suppression damage modifier on them. This weapon, this is why I say this weapon is probably going to be the best heavy weapon, because you can take down armor and straight up deal a ton of damage against unarmored targets with Fleshbane and with armor breaking. Plus, with the high suppression, you will not have an issue with any target you run up against. So, let's show it off. This here is full auto. Extremely fast firing. And as you can see, you have a ton of stuff. Now, that's why I took off this one, because this chance to release a Thunderbolt of Authority on hit, this 3.8, that counts per projectile. Now, this character has a little perk. I think it's over here. Yeah, right here. Plus 50% ammo capacity and overheat threshold value for all weapons. My ammo has 150 ammo. My weapon has 150 ammo. This gun is an ammo-based weapon. So each one of those shots has a chance to release a Thunderbolt of Authority. If you are fighting a boss and you have this enchantment on it, it will shred everything. This is the only weapon in the game that I have ever run across that can, if you get the right enchantments on it, demolish bosses and Void Crusade enemies in a matter of seconds. simply because of how it works. Concentrated salvo. You are going to be advancing and firing very, very quickly. You're not going to be staying still. You are going to be moving all over the place. Hello. You're not supposed to be doing that. And you're dead. This here is your armor breaking skill. So, if you are running against an enemy with high armor, that is going to be the skill you are going to want to use against them. It has very, very good armor penetration. Like, I mean, we're talking able to destroy, cover and everything else. Before the TLC they did to this, you would stay still and just fire continuously. Now you actually move around when you're firing. It's an advanced fire. Disengage, we've seen this on a number of other weapons. However, not to this extent. You're not going to be releasing an absolute hailstorm of bullets when you're disengaging. So, disengage on this weapon, absolutely overpowered. If you start getting overwhelmed and you need to get out of there, disengage is absolutely a lifesaver. Then we have Hailstorm. Or Hellstorm. Explosive bullets. Lots slower firing. But it will eliminate large groups of fleshy enemies. It is very weak, though, to armor. It has a negative damage against armor. So, don't expect it to go and just because it's an exploding bullet, expect it to take out armor, because it will not. You actually will deal less damage against the armor than you will anything else. So, let us find some enemies, and we will show this off. And I think there is a group in here. So let's start off with the exploding bullets. As you can see, did that. I'm going to disengage, and then we're just going to advance through here with the concentrated salvo. Very quick, very simple to do. Then we're going to work on full auto here. And as you can see, it wrecks. Full auto just absolutely wrecks everything. Full auto will, while it won't take out armor right here, you walk up to an enemy and you just pin yourself against them, and you go into, concentrated salvo and you just hold it there. But yeah, as you can see, I can just mow down enemies here. But yeah, that is the heavy bolter. Like I said, it's probably gonna be not probably gonna be. It definitely is probably my favorite heavy weapon. The only other one I would say that can compete is with the correct build, either Heavy Flamer or Multi-Melta. Normally when I run it, I run a Multi-Melta, and then I run a fully decked out Archaeotech Heavy Bolter. Simply because then I have, an elemental heat-based weapon, and I have a Heavy Bolter, fully decked out, plenty of enchantments on it, plenty of, shards and everything else. So I would definitely recommend, if you are going to get any sort of weapon, whether it be, like I covered in the last one, pistols, or, even one of these heavy weapons, make sure when you do finally get one that you like, make sure it's a good level, make sure it's got good enchantments, and then start putting some sockets on it and put some good shards and psalm codes and everything else onto it. But that is it for the heavy weapons. We had the grenade launcher, heavy flamer, multi-melta, plasma cannon, and heavy bolter. So that is it for the heavy weapons. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe if you want to see more. I am hoping, once the holidays are over, I can, get back into uploading a little bit more and stuff. But I will see you all in the next episode. Have a good day.